So what is this Ghibli AI art trend, and what would I look like in that style? LED headlights are annoyingly bright, but is LED bulbs really the problem? And is the quote-unquote cheap iPhone truly dead once and for all? We'll dive into these questions and so much more. I'm Mike Lowe, and this is The Mo Show. Hello, everybody. Mike Lowe here, and welcome back to the studio. Good to be here with you today on this fine morning. And we're going to get right into things here today. And I want to say thank you to all of you who are listening. If you are listening, if you decided you are tuning in via one of the audio-only platforms, which it's a podcast, it makes sense. Thank you to all those tuning in from Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, wherever you're tuning in from. The other ones are not coming to me because I have not had enough coffee. And I appreciate you tuning in, but you may want to check out the video show today on my YouTube channel. I'll leave a link for that down in the description so you can go ahead and switch over real quick right now, because I have some things that I would like to show you today, and you're not going to be able to see them if you are only listening. But either way, we're going to go ahead and get started nonetheless. Starting off with this new trend. Everybody's doing it all around social media, and that includes the official White House account even. Controversial, I'll say. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm just going to get into the style itself, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. It's called Ghibli style. Either that or Ghibli style. I'm calling it Ghibli style because the G to me makes that sound. So Ghibli style. What is that? Well, it's been going around, like I said, social media a lot recently, and it seems to be this sort of cartoonish style. I guess it's sort of an anime style art, and everybody seems to be doing it. I suppose that's what makes it a trend. It's when people in large numbers begin to start doing whatever that trend may be. In this case, it's plugging in an image into, I believe it started off with, it started off with ChatGPT, and now, of course, now that's become popular, there's going to be a bunch of different other places, which we'll get into here in just a little bit, that are implementing the same style. But it's sort of a cartoonish style. It's supposed to be sort of a charming style. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am not an artsy person. That's not me. Some people for one are very, very artistic in their abilities. They can draw, they can make pictures. I am okay with digital art, like creating graphic designs. Okay, I've done some of that in my time. Obviously, I do all my social medias, like the logos and stuff. So I have some experience with graphic design, but as far as actual art, like, I know to appreciate it, but I have a very specific view on art appreciation. Now, I probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but basically, in my mind, art appreciation is it's so subjective, and all you're doing is over-explaining everything. For example, and here's why you wanted to be part of the video show today, but I hold in my hand here a coffee cup, and just a brief description. It is a squared off shape with rounded corners on one of the sides of the square, quote unquote. It has a loop handle like most coffee mugs do, and at the top of the mug it turns into a circle. Everything just rounds off into a circle, and it gets a little bit wider at the top. Okay, so I would say, if I were trying to assess the art, per se, with my beautiful art appreciation skills, I would say, well, look at here. You see, the bottom is squared off because the artist in this case was a very squared squared off human being. They had all their stuff together. But once they hit the top, once they became famous with their art and they became successful, they were more well rounded, if you know what I'm saying. And this right here properly shows that. And they always had this one facet of their life where they always had a good grip on their procedures and their principles of art, and that's where they really took it by the handle. And that's why this handle here is like this. And you notice that it's kind of shaped like an earlobe, if you'll notice. That's because that they always kept an open mind and open ears about other people's ideas when it came to their art. And that's really what this cup portrays, is just a symbolism of that. In every walk of life this can apply to, but at the same time, especially with this artist's art appreciation and art style, that's what they meant by all this. And it has a flat bottom, it has a flat base to it, because they always had the basics down, but it was always a boring yet solid style. So they had to have a base that was very, very solid. See, you can just keep going and going on this with pretty much anything. Like I have so many items in this room I could do this with. So you see what I'm saying? Art appreciation in a lot of cases can be very subjective, and like I said, I'm kind of poking fun at it because I'm not the type of person that sits around and stares at paintings all day like, look at the details. And I don't care. I have to go to work. I have to record episodes of the show. And there's a lot better things I could do with my time than sit there. It's not me. There's some people that it's them. It's not me. I'm not the art appreciation person, but I am a coffee drinker. So maybe I'm not the person to be talking about this Ghibli art style. I can appreciate that it's a cartoonish art style. It's not a bad filter, but it's not at all lifelike, okay? Let me give you an example here. Let me show you, because I actually did run this through a free AI generator. Last night I went ahead and took a picture from my phone. So let me see if I can show you here if this is going to work. Okay, here we go. So for those of you watching on the video show, once again, YouTube, link in the description for those of you who aren't. This is a picture I took of yours truly in all its glory. Being a little goofy. Okay. So get a good look at this, whether you would like to or not. Take it all in. All right, so I'm going to switch the picture here, and this is what Ghibli style me looks like. Okay? I mean, okay, you can see where they were coming from. It's not exactly accurate, of course. It's a cartoon style, so it was put into that style, and certain things were changed. For instance, of course, they put the beauty filter on my face. That's number one. They did nail certain things down, like I am a little cross-eyed, so you can see that the eyeballs are a little bit off center. Not hugely, but enough to where the AI noticed it. The hair is a little bit different because I don't really have all this going on in the front, but it was trying to pinpoint a style, and it didn't quite know what to do with my hairstyle, so it just kind of, it's not bad. And it certainly, I don't have rosy cheeks either. I don't have that. I don't know where that came from. I mean, I suppose, okay. I mean, in this light, I do look a little bit red, so I wasn't like warm or anything. I don't know why my face would have been red, but I could see where it gets it from in that picture. So, it's AI. This is what you expect. And this cartoon style is kind of what they were going with. So, with you being able to see that now, if you've never seen the Ghibli AI, you can say that you saw it now. Obviously, that's not lifelike. That's not meant to be lifelike. That's a cartoon art style. Okay? Fine. Here's the thing. That art style, making it more of a cartoonish style like that, is kind of AI's specialty. And it's more or less the safe bet as well. So, here's the thing. It takes a lot of human resources, a lot of man hours to make something that's lifelike. A prime example of this would be video games because, there's a lot of video games out there that are, especially simulation games, that are trying to make it as lifelike as possible, trying to make it indistinguishable from what real life would look like. And thus far, they've done pretty good, but there's only one or two video games that come to mind that really can compete with real life, and you can still, even if it's kind of tricky, you can still tell, even if you think, oh, this is really good, this is really spot on, there's still some things you're like, this is still a video game. And that takes, I didn't realize how much this took. I looked it up, I did a little bit of research last night to my credible sources at Reddit. People taking account for their own of how much time it took them to develop a game. And you got to keep in mind that these are more of just one-man projects. Nothing wrong with that. Just saying, not everybody is a company or a developing studio full of developers. They're just doing something for fun, programming a game for fun. Something that I probably could not do. I don't know if I have the patience for that. I don't know if I have the skill set for that. I'm not really into coding and programming. People say, oh, you're a computer guy. That means you can program a whole program. You can code a whole program, right? Just like, no. I'm an IT guy. That is not the same. I bring your computer up if it crashes. If the internet's gone down, I bring your internet back up. I am not a programmer. That's not me. These are not the same. But I do see that it takes a lot of time. From what I gathered, and I have to kind of make an average of everything, what I was reading. On average, from everything that people were self-reporting of the time they spent making games, they would put in about, for a lower end indie game per se, just like a one-man developer for their own personal projects that's not super detailed, just a fun game to play, about 300 man hours on average. In real time, you're probably looking at 6 to 12 months at least, like between half a year and a year at least for this type of stuff, depending on how quickly you're developing it. For a more polished or detailed or in-depth game, it can take upwards of thousands and thousands of man hours to code, program, polish, debug, all of these things a game. 2,000 to 3,000 at least, it was looking like, whenever somebody was really taking their game seriously. And that, I'd say it translates into at least 18 months of real time, maybe more, maybe upwards of 30 months, so like 2-3 years. Yeah, I don't have the patience for that. That's not me. It takes time. That's the thing. It takes a lot of time just to make something look that detailed. And I dare say that the ones that look the most detailed, like the best looking games where you're like, that's crazy, I guarantee it took them years and years in the making and thousands of man hours, maybe even 10,000, just to get it just right. Because you have to learn a whole engine of how physics and then I'm not even thinking about, to make it lifelike, you have to have a good picture and then you have to have good sound as well. So you have to develop that audio engine as well, and to make everything around you sound as lifelike as possible, spatially and in effect noises. It has to sound top notch That's going to take a lot of time to do. So lifelike takes time, but AI can do better with the cartoon style. Because if you've ever seen, let me see, since we're in the mood of showing y'all stuff, let me see if I can find how AI gets weird. There's certain things, if you ask AI to do, it just completely falls apart because it does not know what it's doing. It just does not fully comprehend what it's supposed to do. The prime example, and I know AI is getting, ooh, I know AI is getting better. Okay, here's a good one. Here's a meme I can show you. No, AI is getting better and better with this, but it's still not going to be perfect. Here, I'll show you this meme. This pretty much sums it up. AI gets really weird really fast with hands. So, and if you've never seen this before, then I'll show you here. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Like, what kind of abomination is this? What kind of freaking nature do you got to be for this to be even remotely the case? I mean, what? What in the world? Extension arm? What is what even what is this? Look. And they got like a arm coupler over here, like an arm adapter. What in the world? What is all that? Yeah, that's not okay. I know this is a meme, but I mean, it doesn't. And like I said, AI is getting better, and it's crazy how fast it. Put aside the weird stuff that AI gets hung up on sometimes, it's really astonishing how fast AI has been able to catch up with this kind of stuff. It's just it's fascinating to see how fast the AI is just learning and training and gathering intelligence. Some of that's a little scary because it's getting its information and its prompts from the web as a whole. So there has to be some sort of human filter on that to make sure things don't go south really fast. But it's kind of cool, honestly, how fast it's going. Kind of concerning on one hand, but kind of cool as well. As far as human development goes, I shouldn't say human development, just technological advancements goes. And I am going to close that tab in my Chrome before I get weirded out from looking at it and go back to my notes here. But I'll say that with, obviously it's trying to be lifelike when it did those hands, those weird hand things. The safe bet is always the cartoon style because it doesn't have to be perfect because it's a cartoon. The goal of it is not to be lifelike. It's the inoffensive safe bet, if you will. And this really shows forth in Apple Intelligence, the image playground. So, Apple Intelligence, nobody really cares. Okay, fine. You don't have to use it. That's the nice thing I like about the Apple AI is that one switch and you can turn it all off. There's so many other, like Google's AI, the Gemini, and what's the other one? Microsoft's Copilot. Please stop trying to force this stuff on me if I don't want it in my operating system. From a standpoint of you go to ChatGPT and type something in, okay, fine. You're going and doing that yourself. Forcing it onto my operating system when I don't want it, I want an easy kill switch if I'd never want to see it again. I'm just saying. And a lot of people do too. I know I'm not alone on this because I've talked to multiple people that are just like, can we just turn this off, please? I don't need it. I know how to use my operating system. Fair enough. With all that being said, Apple is not known for taking huge risks ever. And in this case, it's sad because they're not really innovating as much as they used to. The thing is, they know what's the safe bet. And if you go to their image playground, and I'll have to bring it on here on the show at some point because I don't know if I can. I'd have to figure out a way to do that because I have a Windows computer. I have it on my phone and my iPad, so I might can find a way to do that. I have to play around with it a little bit. Y'all let me know if you want to see that. But the image playground is strictly a cartoony style of AI. Whenever it generates images, pretty cool, but at the same time, not perfect. No AI is perfect at this point. And the thing with it is, coffee break. You know that you can just deduce from the fact that Apple doesn't like to take risks at all in anything, and they like to add features slowly once they polish them, is that cartoon style is like the most inoffensive safe bet that you can do with AI image generation, because that's literally what they're doing. They give you different styles of what kind of cartoon, like an animated style or whatever, but none of it's lifelike style when you're going to generate images in their image playground software. So it's the safe bet. It's not bad. I don't mind it. It was kind of weird, don't get me wrong, to open my Instagram and just see a flood of it just appear in my For You page, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. Not my personal style. I played around with it. And here's the thing. I don't know where I was going with that sentence, into telling. What was I saying? What we were getting into earlier, that it takes thousands of man hours and months or years of real time to develop something that's lifelike. It took me not 10 minutes to generate that image that I showed y'all earlier. Like, I just went to a free AI site and let me give them a shout out. Photor, Fotor, image generator. And I went there, uploaded the picture, no account needed, and got that result within like, I don't know, a minute, and then just saved it. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. I know it's 2025, but you can just do that now. We have gotten so used to convenience that it takes seconds to do anything with AI now. Not perfect, like I said. And the thing I'd like to notice on a closing note in AI, because I've been ranting long enough on it. Not ranting, but discussing, shall we say. That's what we do here. Sophisticated discussion on the Mo Show. The AI was, at first people were thinking, oh, this is going to be terrible. AI is going to take so many jobs away from people that aren't making a whole lot of money to begin with. They're going to take over all these jobs, blue collar jobs, if you will, as they say. It's going to be taking away so many of those because everything's just going to become automated. The truth is that a lot of those jobs are still going to need to be done by humans. There's some things you can automate, yes, but I mean, thus far it hasn't really done as much. The real threat is to like artists, honestly, just because AI can write poems now. AI can generate images now. Once again, not perfectly, but AI can do all this stuff. Can do all this creativity stuff at a crazy rate. So it's more the art field that's going to be getting hit with this the most, I'd say. Because now why would I need to rely on a human artist to do something and need the funding to take time to make their project? I'm not saying one's better than the other, but why would I wait on that or invest this much into that when AI can just do it like that? Like I said, it took under a minute to get that image for free on the web. Stuff that's better you can get for far cheaper and faster and more powerful AI that does it better. Just saying. Creativity is AI's specialty, especially when it comes to this cartoon, this Ghibli style. It's definitely dominating in that aspect. Not perfect, but getting better every day. And at an even faster and faster rate, this AI is learning and advancing. And I think it's just going up from here, honestly. But you know what else? What else is going up from here? Headlight aiming. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can transition like that. So we're gonna shift into a different topic here, very gracefully and smoothly. So much so that nobody will ever notice because I'm doing it so discreetly and inconspicuously. Everybody says so. It's gonna be the best transition anybody's ever seen before. I'm talking about headlights. Bright headlights. Everybody who drives knows about this. You're going down the road at night and you're chilling and you're vibing. You're listening to some music, or in my case, your favorite podcast, your political podcast. I'm an old man. You're listening to whatever, you're vibing, you're chilling, you're driving home. You just want to go home in peace. Then all of a sudden, what comes up over the horizon but a lifted Ford F-350 Super Duty with that stupid 4 headlight design, and those are just the low beams. Okay, that's fine in itself. That's not bad. I mean, they can see better, I guess. But they're not factory ones. They are upgraded LED ones. And you are on a 2-lane road to where it's only you going this way and them coming this way, and that's all you see. Shining right up into your eyes is that bright headlight. And I'm poking fun at the Ford F-350, but it's more than just them. Other trucks and passenger cars do all this same stuff too. Here's the thing. People think a lot of times that that's due to them putting on their high beams, putting on their brights, if you will. And sometimes that is the case. Okay. I will say that it's kind of stupid how much people use their high beams. I get it. Not everybody can see as good and they need extra light at night. But please have courtesy. Please have manners and proper etiquette. Turn off your high beams when you're coming up on somebody. I know some newer cars have the automatic high beams and all that, but turn them things off whenever you're coming up on somebody. It's just the proper thing to do so you can both see. I'm trying to ask this as nicely and patiently as I can. And I say this as somebody with some bright headlights on my vehicle. For those of you who don't know, and if you don't, then you would need to go ahead and check out the Michael O Auto YouTube channel, where I post videos of my 4Runner, my dazzling and fancy 4Runner. It's so wonderful. It's the greatest vehicle anybody's ever seen. It's a very exclusive vehicle. It's a 22-year-old vehicle that has things that nobody else does, like the peeling paint package. It's wonderful. You should try it sometime. Thing's built like a tank though. And still the powertrain is still ticking like a top. Still spinning like a top. I don't know what the expression is. Look. The fact is that the motor and the transmission are still great on the thing. Cosmetically, nobody buys a Toyota for the paint. Okay? Especially not an older one. Especially not a 22-year-old one with 286,000 miles on it. I digress. Go check it out if you want. You should. If cars are up your alley, then you should. Anyway, I have upgraded headlights on them. Granted, they are the cheapo headlights. These are, I'll just say it, these are the Spec D tuning ones that everybody in the 4Runner community hates. I was just really broke at the time, and I was like, these stock headlights are really yellowed out. Yellowed out headlights are due to the sun. People think, oh, they're dirty. Oh, I can just clean them up. Oh, I can use this TikTok hack I found. Once they've reached a certain point of yellow, those are plastic housings that have been sitting in the sun for too long, especially after 2 decades worth of use. There's only a certain point where you can turn back the clock on that. After a while, they're just they're just, it's not worth your time to do it, because you're going to be sitting there polishing and polishing all day, and they'll be maybe half as good as they were. I know from experience because I tried. So I got these new headlights, and the important thing to do, this is free advice, once you get them, take care of, maintain your headlights. Nobody wants to do this, but this is how you keep them nice and clear. Is keep them clean, yes. Every now and again, run the polisher over them. There's this, you can buy clear plastic polisher from Walmart. My go-to is the Meguiar stuff. And then you can buy this clear coat spray that it looks like when you're spraying it on, it looks like, oh, well, these headlights are nice and clear. Why would I put that on them? But it protects them from the sun. It's a coating you put on every maybe half a year. And you put it on there, and it'll protect it from the sun. It'll keep it from going yellow. And I know this works because, like I said, these are the cheapo headlights with the cheap plastic lenses, and they still look good. Even after a couple years of use and of sitting in the hot Alabama sun, they're still doing good. So that's free. You don't have to pay for any of that. Moving back on to the topic at hand. Now that my ADHD has calmed down a little bit. It's okay. It's Michael Owen edited. I say what I want. I have brighter headlights. I have the bulbs that are more bright and high powered, and they're better than stock a little bit. They're not, obviously, more expensive headlights would be better for being able to see, and the light output on these is super scattered, but it's still bright. I can see better than the stock bulbs, okay, and the stock housings, because that yellowing does kind of obscure the light. Duh, obviously it will. So these are brighter. The thing is, I know how to aim my headlights. And I specifically went out of my way because I take safety very seriously. That's the one thing about me. I will put some really sketchy stuff on there to my own wire-up jobs that I wouldn't do on anybody else's vehicle. But I will here because it's my vehicle. And the thing is, as much as I do that kind of stuff, I do not take safety lightly. And it's a safety concern once your headlights are not aimed properly. That's the thing. A lot of times, these are bright bulbs, yes, but people don't take the time to aim them. You're supposed to aim them down somewhat so you can see, yes, but so also other people that are coming on can see. And they're not shining directly up into their eyeballs. Now, if you have like a little car that you can literally, like, and I've ridden in these before, like a sports car where you can literally open the door and touch the ground while you're sitting, that's not my fault at that point. Your car's lower, I can't help you there. That's not the majority of people. But for the average car, my headlights are not going to blind them because I have them aimed properly, and they have what's called projector bulbs in them. What is a projector bulb? You've probably seen this before and just didn't know what they were called. Let me see if I can get a picture for you on our good friend Google. So what projector bulbs do is you have a normal light bulb sitting behind them, and then these will spread the light out so that way it's not just one beam. That's just like a it's more like a floodlight more than like a spotlight, to where it doesn't concentrate the beam in one spot. It spreads it out. It spreads the light out so you can see in more area, and the light is more evenly spread out, and that helps with people that are driving oncoming to you, because then it's not all concentrated into their eyeballs. So, okay, here's a good example, and this is on a Ram. Let me see if I can get this to open up. Bear with me here, please. Literally, bear is here with me. Har, har, har. So this is a good example of a projector headlight. So you can see that it's got the bulbs. These are brighter LED bulbs. That's fine. If you have this projector headlight and you aim them properly, it's like a little glass ball, and it, like I said, it spreads the light out more evenly. So, kind of looks like a marble, like a glass marble. So, that's what a projector bulb is, and that helps a lot with people being able to see, and then also with spreading the light out more evenly. Now, since I got the cheap ones, it's the projector part of it's not great. And also, don't get me wrong, I have bright bulbs in there, so much so that it requires, these are the HID bulbs that are in mine. For those of you who know what that is, that means more to you. If not, go look it up. They're brighter bulbs. They require more power. They require their own little, called ballast, little power boxes that you plug the connectors into. It's complicated, but so much so that these are brighter headlights, and I didn't want to blow a fuse. So in order to keep them powered properly, I bought a separate wiring harness with the headlights that pulls power straight off my battery when I turn the headlights on, so that way they don't flicker when they're running. These are brighter bulbs, yes, but I know what I'm doing. I know how to aim them, and I know that the projector, I knew going into this, buying them, that the projector was going to make a huge difference. That's why I specifically got that. So please do everybody a favor. Even if you don't have to get the projector ones. Just aim your bulbs properly. And have common courtesy if you do use your high beams. I see so many people driving around with their high beams on during the day. Like, what do you need that for? Just turn the sun's shining out bright. It's hot out. Like, what are you doing? Why do you need them on? I understand you keep your headlights on during the day for visibility at a further distance if you're driving fast down a road. Okay, fine, you can make that argument, but why do you need your high beam? You don't need your high beams on during the day. And at night, please, be nice. Flick them off if somebody's oncoming. Drives me crazy. It's not hard stuff. It's just doing the things. And this really comes to a head whenever you consider, let me see if I can find another picture. For those of you who know what an astigmatism is or has one, I have a little bit of one. It's not real bad. Some people I've seen talk about it, and they got it a lot worse than I do. So, an astigmatism makes all lights blurry at night. Stoplights, street lights, headlights, tail light, you name it. I got a little bit of one. It could be worse. I'm not going to really complain too much about it. And I'm sure it will get worse when I get older. I'll have to cross that bridge when I get to it. But let me show you what an astigmatism makes everything look like, for those of you who don't have it or don't know. This right here is what an astigmatism looks like. See all these lines right here? And sometimes it'll be more of like a halo-y effect. This right here increases some, but this right here is what you notice the most with the lines and stuff. Yes. So nighttime driving is terrible with this. Even with, in my case, I only have a slight one. Yeah, it's not fun. I don't wish this upon anybody. But turns out that 1 in 3 people in the U.S. have this. 33%, a third of people. So what does that mean, practically speaking? That means whenever you come into contact with 3 drivers on the road, whenever you pass 3 drivers on the road as you're driving home at night, it means that one of those 3 is going to have an astigmatism. Yeah. It's going to be looking like that. And guess what your high beams does to that person? That makes it worse. That makes it dangerous almost. Like they tell you to look at the white shoulder line on the right. And if you're in the US and you drive on the right side of the road as opposed to the left side, they tell you to look at that shoulder line as you're passing somebody with bright headlights so you can kind of see, because your focus stays on that. It does help some, but I mean, there's some headlights are so bright you can't really rely on that either. Especially when it's raining is when it really gets bad at night. But please be mindful. Please be kind. If you don't know how to aim your headlights, take it to somebody who does. Do it properly. Do it safely. It's not hard stuff. It's just doing the right thing. Just doing the things. And it makes for a better world. I promise you. I promise you it will. Rant over. We're moving on. Once again, another graceful transition from yours truly. And now we get to talk about phones. I save this for the end, so that way if I rant, then I don't have other topics to get to anymore. So the iPhone 16e just came out recently. The 16e. Wonderful, Apple. What do you got for us? What do you have for us? Well, here's what we got. You now get the notch. And this is, I'm saying this as it takes the place of the iPhone SE from before. So now it's not the SE anymore. It's not the SE fourth generation. It is the 16e. The 16e. I like saying it like that better. So, what do you get? You get an OLED display. You get the notch. You get Face ID. Don't you feel special? You get USB Type-C, because the EU is forcing all the iPhones to do that, and I couldn't be happier, to be honest with you. USB-C is fantastic if you have it on everything. And you get Apple Intelligence. You get the action button. You don't get the camera button. That's exciting. So, yeah, it's a boring iPhone. It's so boring. But, I guess. You only get one camera, but it's a 48 megapixel one as well. I'm really nerding out on these tech specs here. And you get a nice you get a nice price tag as well. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to show you right now. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So, yeah. Built for Apple Intelligence. Nobody cares, okay? This right here is what people care about. This. Oh, latest iPhone, greatest price. Oh yeah, is that right? Is that the case here, Apple? Because I remember, I'm old enough to remember the iPhone SE, which this was supposed to be taking the place of. Excuse me. This was supposed to be taking the place of. And I remember that iPhone used to be $400 until the last generation or two where they changed it to $429. Okay. We can handle it with inflation and everything. Excuse me. We can handle $30 more. Fine. Whatever. It's not great, but it's not unreasonable either. Extra $30. Whatever. Fine. $600? What did I miss here? What did I miss? Excuse me? You don't even get two cameras on the back of the thing. What did I miss here? This ain't a budget iPhone. This is not a budget iPhone. They want you to think that. They want you to believe that. But this is not a budget iPhone. I don't know that Apple makes a budget iPhone anymore. Because iPhones used to be a lot cheaper, and I understand. You have to adjust for inflation and all that. Whatever. The thing still has a 60 hertz display. Which, I mean, the 16 and the 16 Plus still do too. For those of you who aren't tech nerds, a lot of this rant isn't going to make much sense to you. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people that I've asked before, when I show them the difference between 60 hertz and 120 hertz, they either don't notice or they don't care. So, okay, whatever. It's not cool that they still have that in 2025 when you're paying, what, $800 for an iPhone for the new iPhone 16. And you still get stuck with that? Really? We stuck in the past here? The 120 hertz is nice for those of you who've never had a Pro iPhone. And when I say a Pro iPhone, I mean the Pro and Pro Max from the 13 and up. I mean, that's the only phones that Apple has with more than a 60 hertz screen. It's nice. It's smooth. You don't have to have it, but I like it. And once you get it, good luck going back. That's all I'm saying. It's a nice luxury feature to have. The iPhone 16, he doesn't have it though, but you do get an OLED. Finally, getting rid of that LCD display, getting you something a little bit more modern. Getting you an OLED, which is nice because the contrast is nicer. The pixels that are supposed to be black can actually fully turn off, and that has its practical stuff too, because that means that you can save more battery because it can turn off the pixels it doesn't need to use, especially if you're in dark mode. Dark mode gang. Yeah. You get that. You get the notch. You don't even get the fancy island. Even the regular 16 has the dynamic island. Great feature set. Terrible name, as I've always said. Why did Apple have to name everything? I don't know. But they did. And it's cool, but it's not a deal breaker, I'd say. So maybe the notch isn't such a big deal. But it just takes up more screen real estate than the Island does, the dynamic Island does. And you get Face ID now. Some people like the Touch ID. Some people like the fingerprint sensor better. Which, side rant, the Touch ID and the home button better than, like, in the new iPads they have Touch ID in the lock button. It's just not the same. I guarantee it's because the sensor is bigger and took up more of your fingerprint, read more of your fingerprint than the home button. But yeah, these are not equal. Don't mistake it as such. They call them both Touch ID, but don't make the mistake. So you get that. You get Apple Intelligence, which, who cares? I'm just being honest here. Like, I use Apple Intelligence from time to time. I don't never use it, but I will say they did improve Siri some. That's the one thing that I do appreciate, is that I could actually use more natural language. But it's one of those things where it's like, finally, it's about time. And who exactly is the iPhone 16e for? That's my next question. So let's take a step back here. You walk into the phone store, and what are you saying? You're saying that here's the phone I want to buy. I want to buy the iPhone, the newest iPhone. It has to be in the 16 lineup. It has to have OLED. It has to have Face ID. It has to have USB-C. It has to have Apple Intelligence. It has to have the action button. You know what all of this describes? I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not telling you. I'm going to show you. Because I'm in a mood to show you stuff on the screen. I'm going to show you what this describes. Give me 1 second here. Keep all this in mind. This right here is such for $600, might I remind you. For $600. Oh my goodness, it's getting worse. From the time when I made these notes, it's getting even worse. Man, this is seeming like such a bad deal. Here's what I just described to you. Yeah. Yes. Let's go through this again, shall we? Shall we roll? iPhone 15 Pro. Pro Max if you want to spend a little bit more, but I mean, look, you can get look at the price. Look at the price you can get this for. This is less than the 16e. Let's go through it again. Shall we? Please? Shall we go through this again? What do you get? OLED screen. Check. USB-C. Check. USB-C is faster on this. It has USB-C 3 speeds as opposed to the 2 that you get in the 16e. Apple Intelligence. Check. You get the OLED screen. You get the 120 hertz on this because it's a Pro iPhone. It's a better screen. Same screen size too if you get the Pro. Pro Max even bigger. The notch. You get the dynamic island. Action button. You got it. Look. What? Camera? 48 megapixel? Yes, you get that. And then you get 2 other cameras alongside of it. And it's only a year older. It's 1 year old. It's 1 generation behind. And you can buy them refurbished for less than you can buy the 16e. And they have better features. Like, the only thing I can think of is the battery would degrade on an older phone, but it's only been out a year. You can find good ones with good battery health. As a matter of fact, on Swappa, as you can see, they put the battery health percent on here so you know what you're getting. What? Apple, what? Who was this made for? Who was this phone made for? I'll tell you exactly who it was made for. I'll show you who it was made for. Who they're trying to get with this. I'm going through all this and just a little stunning. Oh, it's so great. We finally gave you OLED. Compare with iPhone 11, iPhone 12 and 12 mini, and the SEs. That's who this is aimed at. Oh, you're still using an iPhone 11? What's wrong with you? Get with it. Get with the times here. Get with it. Come on now. What's wrong with you? You're stuck in the past, aren't you? You can be part of the OLED gang now. Even though wait a minute. iPhone 12 had the OLED. Okay, that I just poked some holes in that. Okay, iPhone 11 and SE. You can have the OLED now. Guess what? Now you get Apple Intelligence. Isn't that great? I know you've always wanted it. You're using an iPhone 11 in the year of our Lord 2025, and you just can't live with that Apple Intelligence. This is so stupid. I'm sorry. This is so dumb. Like, what in the world? What in the world? I'm an iPhone guy, and that's my preference. I'm not saying Android phones are bad. There's a lot of good Android phones out there, but an iPhone guy. This is ridiculous, Apple. What in the world? This is why I'm saying this is the death of the cheap iPhone, of the budget iPhone. You could make the argument, even though it's not a cheap phone, you could make the argument, hey, you're getting an iPhone. You want to be part of the iPhone experience. You want to be part of the iPhone gang. You can get it for $400, a brand new phone. The battery's going to be terrible. The battery life isn't going to be good, which I will say, 16E, the saving grace on it, if you want to call it that, is the battery life. The battery life is actually decent on it. Okay, well, you're still going to have the home button from 2017. Okay, fine. You get that. What else can we give you? We're gonna give you the screen size of the iPhone 6. Yes, 4.7 inch. I don't know how I ever thought that screen on a phone was in any way big, but yeah, looking back on it now, I have some on the shelf up here, and I'm just like, wow, ooh, that's a step back in time. It's just Apple. What in the world? I'm sorry, what in the world? I understand who you're trying to sell this to. The 11 was a good phone. Everything gets old after a while. And at this point, let's see, the iPhone 11. How old is the iPhone 11? iPhone 11 came out in 2019. It's fixing to be, I don't think it's quite there yet, but it's fixing to be 6 years old here. I mean, it's still not a bad phone, but I mean, everything gets old. I get it. Apple, you want to target that at them? It would seem like a nice upgrade, would it not? iPhone 12, maybe a little bit more of a stretch. 12 mini, okay. You get a step up in screen size, that's fine. But most people that buy the mini are going to want that smaller screen size anyway. The iPhone SE, you can definitely make an argument as to upgrading because, like I said, of how outdated that was. It's like, if you couldn't say goodbye to your home button, which if you still can't, then nobody, whoever doesn't want to get rid of their home button is not going to buy this phone then. So it's making less and less sense as I keep talking. Who in the world is this made for? But now that the 16E is up on Apple's website, let me guess. I haven't looked, but I guarantee that iPhone SE ain't being sold on here no more. iPhone 16E versus 16, or not 16, iPhone SE, third generation. Available at authorized resellers. Yep, not being sold on here anymore. I get it. You got the 16e, but that is not nearly the same price tag. It's almost like Apple saying, and I'll close on this. It's almost like Apple saying, "Oh, you want to be part of this club now? You want to be part of this club, don't you? You really want to. You want to have Apple Intelligence. You want to have a brand new phone with Apple Intelligence. Because you think you're so cool. You want to have an OLED screen, don't you? You want it. You want to have the notch from 3 years ago. You want to have the action button. The ringer switch just wasn't good enough for you, was it? You want to have a 48 megapixel camera, one camera. You're going to pay the price. You think we're going to let you in at under $500? You think we're going to let you in at 400? That's laughable. 430, that's laughable. 500? No. 550? No. 600. That's the starting price with the base amount of storage. If you want more, you got to pay more. But hey, price of getting into the club, right? It's like Apple. What are you turning into here? A bouncer? So it feels like. And they're doing so at outrageous prices. This is not going to say it's a bad phone. I'm just saying the value's not there. I say this as somebody with the 16 Pro Max, which is the latest, greatest iPhone you can get right now. It's almost insulting, honestly. And in no way can you call this a budget iPhone. You can call this an upper mid-ranger at most. And the features that they give you for that price, that's laughable. I'm just saying. For somebody who's a phone nerd, who's into this kind of stuff, it's just laughable. It's ridiculous. I don't know if I can recommend this phone to anybody, because going back to what I said earlier, the 15 Pro you can buy refurbished or used for less than this, and the feature set on it is better. Maybe the battery life is a little bit worse, but that's about it. Every other feature on it is better that you can make an argument for buying the 16e. Please be smart. Please don't just buy whatever Apple throws out there. I know I'm one to talk because I got the latest, greatest iPhone. I know I'm one to talk, but please do your research if you want to hang on to your phone for a while. Because let's be real, the 16e taking over from the SE is for somebody who's going to hang on to their phone for a while. If you still have the 11, you've definitely done that, and that's who they're targeting the 16e at. Is that somebody who had like the iPhone 11 before? Not a bad phone, just getting old. And you're probably going to want to hang on to this phone for a while. Is it really worth $600 though for what you're getting? Can't say it is. Just please do your research. Please do your homework, because Apple loves to take advantage of people who don't. Let's put it that way. Go look on Swappa. Go look on there for used phones. Never any cracked glass on Swappa. That's the one nice thing, and they have excellent payer protection, and they will help you out if you have a problem. Customer service is on point. Not even paying for this. Just in my personal experience with them, real good. Step up from eBay, buying used phones on eBay. Go do your research. Go look and see what's on the market before you go buy, because the budget iPhone, I'm telling you right now, to answer the question, is dead. It's done. It's over. And guess what? This rant is over. This episode is over. Everything is over. The sky is falling. I'm not going to go into doomsday saying, but I will say that if you enjoyed this, please make sure that you keep tuning in, you follow. If you're watching, if you did go over to YouTube and watch, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that way you are the first one to know whenever a fresh new episode drops. If you're listening on audio, thank you so much for joining me as well. No hate, all love to you. Make sure you're following me as well. And let me know what you think down in the comments section. Definitely love to hear your thoughts. And that's going to do it for now. Make sure that you take care of yourself till the next one. We'll see you in a little bit. I'm Michael O, and this is The Mo Show.